too much of those two players that they don't want to try because they don't want to be like laughing stocks when they miss. Because remember, when you miss, there are also talks that, some of you want to score, but you don't know how to score. Why not give us the ball? Some there are always those things that players are able to speak from the off the game. So some of the players don't want to be in that kind of politics. So they would rather get the ball, give it to Barbara. If she fails, it's up to her. Get the ball, give it to Kundananji if she fails, because they know that by that time they have done their job. They'll tell the coach or they'll tell the captain that we gave to Barbara or we gave to Kundananji and they didn't do their job. Me, I did my job. I protected my area and also assisted. That is where I end. So we need to have a situation where if we want more goals, especially in high-level competitions, like we need to have more options. The coach must give it a try to make sure that he encourages as many players as possible to shoot on goal.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, then we went on, obviously qualified to the quarterfinals,
Yes.
where we were avoiding to meet, was it South Africa? Then we managed to meet our bitter rivals. The last time we met with them, I think we beat them. Was it 1-0? We beat them 1-0. Then this time around, well, they feasted on Zambia. Before that, there was serious social media hype or a serious feud between Zambia and Nigeria, where Zambian supporters, went to town and back, praising how they will beat and wallop Nigeria and everything to do with that. Even reminded Nigeria of 2022. But then Nigeria still came out laughing. And on top of things, they beat Zambia not only by a goal, but 5 goals to 0. And Zambia could not even respond with a shot on target. 90 plus minutes, not even one shot recorded on target.
Yes, this is very tricky because it's really an embarrassment. Because at that tournament, a country like Zambia, you don't score any goal, then it's normal. It's life as usual. It's to say no, the coach is still understanding the players. I think that is not a good thing. How much should Zambia lose against a team and we feel like action must be taken instantly? Yes, you supporters, you feel like giving people chances. Look, when a coach gets the job, you are not taking a coach who is a job on training. You are taking a coach who feels that he already knows everything. Now, to lose by that margin, it means that you, and again, even when you knew that there were same goals, almost 2 goals came instantly, in a similar situation to the goalkeeper. I think that could have called for the even substitution of the goalkeeper. To me, if I was on the touchline, the goalkeeper, you concede 2 similar goals, the goalkeeper must be changed. It's not a one-man show. Look, playing for Zambia is a privilege. Therefore, if we give you the chance and you can't show it, then we have to do something about it. Third goal, again, if you look at all the errors in the goal, on the 5 goals, they came almost in the similar situations. There was no tapping, there was no, diving. Everything was scattered. So I think there's something that must be done about from the defense, everything. Now Nigeria showed us that really we are very weak. Even if we were the 2 most expensive attackers, but I think it didn't show that day. I think Nigeria had a good analysis of Zambian game and they did the right thing, and we were embarrassed as supporters and as soccer analysts, because if you look at many soccer analysts, they predicted that we would beat Nigeria by 2 goals to 0. But how do you beat a team where you never even had a shot on target?
What is more embarrassing, or maybe what really failed in the Zambian tactics? Because look, the Nigerian coach in his pre-match interview and stuff, he cut. In fact, that was even before the pre-match. He was quoted in the media, I think 2-3 days before the Zambia-Nigeria game, he categorically mentioned, we know Zambia's threat and we are going to neutralize Zambia's threat. We know Rachel, we know Barbara. These will be our prime targets.
And they did it.
So that hint was given to the coach and her technical bench. They still decided to play a deaf ear to that. Or let's say you were, let's assume you were the one leading that team and you hear such remarks from an opponent you are about to face. Was that a psychological thing? Was it a psychological attack on the coach? How would you have reacted to that on game day? Would you have played the two threats that this coach said we will concentrate on them? Or how would you have gone about it in that game after hearing such from your next opponent?
Yes, that's if you hear such, because during a press conference, it's like they are telling you what they know exactly about a pre-press conference. So as a coach, you must listen, and you also get the big words that the other coach is using. Already he had used that, we know Barbara and Kundananji. Apart from that, you as a coach, after hearing that, what do you do? So you start with those two people, Kundananji and Barbara, so that you can also show that you have faith on them, so that you shouldn't drop them just by hearing. After that, in the second half, if you see that the whole 45 minutes, someone has no shot on target, a coach must click. You must click that, no, you guys, you have done your best. Now let's try others. But it took time. It didn't, you give all the time to the same people that failed in the first 45 minutes to have a shot on target. What is the problem? Do you fear the players? To me, I would substitute Barbara Banda and Kundananji as quickly as possible. Immediately we start second half, so that we can try others that are not known. Because if they are not known, then their movements will not be known. Because remember, the way Barbara Banda plays, even at the club, plays similar football. Therefore, even when you watch at the club level, you can know as to arrest the situation, to stop the threats of Barbara Banda. Therefore, you are going to make sure that you put in the right measures. So the most important thing that the coach should have done is, in the second half, Barbara Banda and Kundananji, 5 minutes, maybe you give them another 5 minutes to see if maybe the motivation would bring out different results. But if you see in the 5 minutes there's no results, then you need to give other people the chance. Look, there's nobody who is bigger than Zambia. A coach must be aware. Not even the agency to say, no, when I substitute them, maybe I'll be in trouble with the agency. No, you need to go there with all alternatives.
Exactly.
Football is full of alternatives. When I set up a team, it doesn't mean that the team will do well. That's why there are also those 5 substitutes, you understand, that you carry. Apart from that, you have 11, then 11 players, then you have 9, because you are supposed to have how many? 20. Those 9, you must substitute 5. Why not do it as quickly as possible, so that you can try other alternatives? You can try other movements, so that you can get the better result. So there was delay in making decisions on the bench. And apart from that, if we say where was Zambia wrong? Zambia was everywhere was wrong.
Okay.
Why? Because you receiving 5 goals, you can't blame a certain part of the team. 5 goals is too much. You understand? The defense was in tatters. As I said, remember on the 5th of January, when we were here analyzing, I mentioned that Zambian defense,
yeah.
So the Zambian midfield breaks between number 6 and number 8. There's always that broken line. Why is it happening now? Under the previous coach, it never used to happen. That's why we ended up beating Nigeria 1-0. 1-0 means they made only a single mistake, and we capitalized on that, and they never Even them, they never found the space in our area. So now they found 5 spaces and they made use of them very well, because those were 5 complete spaces that they made use of them. So why does the midfield break? Who is weak in the midfield? Who 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 is not thinking alike? Because teamwork is to think alike. When you know that the number 6 moves away from there, then you come and stay on number 6. That means you are now, you know the movements of your friend. Who is not thinking alike? Who is breaking? All those things, the head coach must be able to analyze them and give us a better team. Now that Zambia lost 5 goals to 0, it's the right time for coach to justify who should be dropped and who should remain in the team, because now it's an embarrassment even to him. It is even to her. Sorry, it will be on her CV that she lost 5-0 against Nigeria when she was the head coach of Zambia.
Now, I want us to be very thorough in our analysis of Zambia's performance at the still ongoing WAFCON competition. I want us to be thorough. So, looking at from the first game that Zambia played all the way up to the 4th game, because obviously the quarterfinals was the 4th game, to the 4th game that we played, I want us to go department by department in analyzing and seeing, probably even with solutions on what is the best thing that we can do. All right, so I want us to start in the goalkeeping department. Yes, Musole, she's been Zambia's, in fact, she was the hero of the women's team at the 2022 WAFCON tournament, where Zambia came out number 3. Was it 3 or 4? Number 3.
Yes. Yes, we won bronze.
This time around, well, she was in the people's mouths, both for the correct and the wrong things. So, looking at that department, what went wrong? Let's just look at, I want us to look at department by department. So, do not include the defenders, do not include the midfielders, do not include the attackers. Let's just look at that department. What went wrong in the goalkeeping department this time around, that almost every game we conceded a goal or 2 or more even?
Yes. So like we said in the previous assignments, that Zambia has been conceding 2 goals per game. Now it even went further, because after 5 goals, you look at you say, okay, 2, 2, 5. How many goals? 9.
9
in 4 matches. Which is like 2.5 goals per game. Okay, that's what Zambia considered. What went wrong? What should be done in the goalkeeping department? First and foremost, goalkeeper flexibility was not there. Goalkeeper strength was not there. The best strength of the goalkeeper is on the tummy. Did we look at the tummy? Was it an organized tummy? The goalkeeper is already huge. Can the goalkeeper fall? Looking at the structure of the goalkeeper, it's difficult for the goalkeeper to tap and dive. And we saw it, that some goals were just passing while she was standing. Some she tried to raise like the hand to just push, but it was not possible, because I think her fear was how she's going to fall. So the issue is, let's go back to the basics. She might have the skill of goalkeeping, but the physical fitness of flexibility and the strength, as a coach, I never saw them. And I never felt them. So those things must be basics that they should go back to. Because if the goalkeeper is not flexible, if the goalkeeper doesn't have the strength, then there's nothing that you can do. Even if you have good skill. That skill only works when the body is good.
So now, can we be right as football fanatics to peg this on the goalkeeper coach? Because probably he is the one that is tasked to train this goalkeeper, or to oversee on how this goalkeeper performs? Because probably we had three goalkeepers, if I'm not mistaken. We had three. The other one got injured, hence the reason why she never featured well. That's what we were told. She was injured. For the other one, we don't even know the reason why she was not featured. But then, what can we be right to blame the goalkeeper coach to say, hey, before the tournament, obviously, you must have done your research on the teams that we were facing, on their attack mode or model, and then how, as a goalkeeper, one, you are supposed to come out, man the goal, or better still, what distance you're supposed to put between you and the sticks, or in between the sticks, or you and the line that is in between the sticks.
So what we can do here is this: we still blame the head coach, because the head coach gets advice from the goalkeeper coach. We don't know what the goalkeeper coach told the head coach, because sometimes the goalkeeper coach can give good advice on which goalkeeper should start, but maybe the head coach decided to stick with Musole. So we don't know whether the goalkeeper, if the goalkeeper coach still suggested Musole that she should start, then that is a problem for the goalkeeper coach. We blame the goalkeeper coach, because the goalkeeper coach must give right information. But if the goalkeeper coach said Musole must be benched for now, let's try this, just says, okay, let's give it her the last chance, because this is a chance that we are also going to go back home with, then that means that the head coach overlooked the to take the blame. So we don't know whether the goalkeeper coach said it, that Musole was not good, but even as the head coach, you have got the final say over these things. So at the end of the day, that's why when firing, they always fire the head coach, because they know that when you were given the advice, especially when now that there's I don't know whether the technical committee has received a report on how the information was flowing, because the technical committee must be. We told the head coach from the goalkeeper coach, please, this is what you are supposed to do on the goalkeeper side. The technical abilities, the physical abilities, the skills level, all those things must have been updated. Then, did the head coach overlook the advice? Yes. Okay. Then the head coach takes the blame. Did the goalkeeper coach hide the advice because she or he doesn't want to get into this confrontation with head coach? Like there are coaches that will read the message from the head coach that the head coach doesn't want to be criticized, so we'll just give the information that she wants. We will tell her what she wants to hear. Is the goalkeeper coach behaving like that? If the goalkeeper is behaving like that, that means it's the goalkeeper coach who must leave, because he or she has lost the relevancy of being the goalkeeper coach.
Reason why I asked that question, it's because obviously after the first game, we have a video assistant coach. Obviously, they watched the game. The mistakes that Musole made in the first game obviously would have been talked about, and suggestions might have flew in on how to make amends for them, or probably how to perform or do better. But then it still comes back to the goalkeeper trainer. If the goalkeeper trainer, upon or after seeing that video of the first game, analyzing the video and understanding or applying his understanding of what he was trained for as a goalkeeper coach, he would have probably introduced one or two routines or training skills on how to ensure that, despite Musole being big, at least she would have applied certain antiques to better her first performance.
Yes, that could have been, but we should have seen it in the second game, because we never saw
that's why I'm saying that's why I asked about the goalkeeper coach, because if the goalkeeper coach did that review, we all know and we all saw how Nora would go back to the game is being played. She will go back to her video assistant coach. What are you seeing? What do we need to do? We saw that, all of us. But then after the game, obviously, there's an issue of let's review the game. We drew.
2-2, yes.
Let's review the game. What were the positives? What were the negatives? So in the negatives, since for now we are dealing with the goalkeeping department, this is the negative that was there. Musole was out of position. Musole enzo choka maning. Oh, Musole enzo kwatira chigo post. Musole was doing this and that. Yes. So it was now the job for the goalkeeper trainer to get back to Musole and his goalkeepers to say, guys, this is what happened in the game. If such an incident happens again, or if such presents itself, this is how you deal with the situation or with the issue. So the fact that we didn't see it in the second game, do we still blame the head coach, or we go back to the goalkeeper coach because that thing was highlighted to him?
Yes, maybe. Let's see. But the fact is that how many days were they there? The first, after 2 days they play. After 2 days they play. Yeah, that training could have been done, but the point is, as long as people change quickly when you drop them. That's why, like, you remember last time I was telling you my history to say that out of 34 players, 33 players played at Zambia's Portland, and we all won the games. And Mr. Cliff here mentioned that no, how possible is that you didn't give time to most of the players? If Musole was dropped, let's say the first game she concedes 2 goals, the second game you drop her, the third game you maybe drop her again and come and give her in the game against Nigeria, maybe her performance would have risen because she would have realized that no, I'm no longer the favorite, I need to do more. Now you can train her, but if she was not dropped, then she was assured, you become comfortable as a person that even if we are training like this, I'll still be the number one. I'll still be number one. I'll still be the one that they will choose to get to be in the Nigerian game. You understand? So the issue of dropping players is also important. Now it depends up to how comfortable the coach feels, because if the coach feels that the same Musole was better than other goalkeepers, then it's not necessary for her to act. But me, I've always believed that dropping a player doesn't mean that you hate the player, but you are just trying to tell them that even others can do if you are not doing it right. Especially if in the first game there was no clean sheet, because the clean sheet also, the credit goes to the goalkeeper. There was no clean sheet in the first game. There was no clean sheet in the second game. That time the head coach could have said, okay, now let's bring in another person at a risk to say whether we lose or not against Congo, let's bring in another person and see what happens. Then they bring her back again in the Nigeria game. I think that was going to be a good lesson. But without dropping a player in the team, most players, it's difficult to change, even if you have introduced new methods of doing it.
Well, let's get to the defense department. So the defense equally allowed 9 games. In fact, they allowed more than 9 shots to reach their last line of defense, which is the goalkeeper. Let's get to analyze them from the first game to the last game that we played. How was the performance?
Yes, there was lapses in the first game. Remember, there was a penalty which was created by the defender. Although
was it the defender?
Was it the penalty? Who created the penalty? It was the defender.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
It was in the defense. Yeah. So if it was created there was miscommunication again, and that miscommunication, I feel it was caused maybe because of players not shouting at each other. In football, it's encouraged that you shout. Hey, don't touch. Don't be hard on that person. You understand? Because the force that the person is running, the speed that the person is running at. You understand? or you say muntu kunuma, you understand? You are telling your friends that there's someone behind, there's someone, be careful, there's someone behind.
Yeah.
You understand? Or you're going in with too much force. You have to mention that. So there was miscommunication. There was no, I think to me, there was no shouting to alert that this is going to cause us another penalty, especially that we were doing very well. We started on a good note. So that miscommunication was done. And again, when we look at that whole process, if that miscommunication was done, who is to blame? Okay? Who is to blame? Sometimes you have to see to it that where was the number 6? We were talking about the defense. So number 6 is included in the defense. Where was the number 6 for the ball to reach that far? How was she defending? Okay? And what precautions did she take to make sure that the ball shouldn't look? The defenders are the last thing. When the ball is in the 18 area, just know that something has gone wrong in the defense. From number 8, number 6, something went wrong. Because even number 8 sometimes can come and assist number 6.
Exactly.
Yes. And number 8 also goes to assist number 10. So now we are just in the defense. So what has gone wrong? Where was what really happened for the ball to arrive at that end and cause a penalty? All those things must be analyzed and must be brought. Who was sleeping? Okay. Who didn't have enough strength? Who gave up so early in the game because we were leading? Who gave up so early to say now, as Zambia, we are done? Or was the coach not shouting to tell the players that concentrate now that we are reading? You need to concentrate, not because where there's concentration, there are few errors or there are no errors at all. Those are the things that the head coach should have been. There was miscommunication. Again, if you look at it like Zambia, we don't know how to start the ball from the behind. What were we doing with the ball from behind? Because we only know our game is to shoot it in front and let it fall whoever it falls, because we also don't have targets. When we are shooting the ball in front, we don't have targets to say it just falls on wherever it has found. That's our game. Yes, she has tried to put in tactical part of the game. Nora has done that, but not everyone is conversant with that, especially that she's not always with the players. There are some players who listen to your instructions when you're training them, but you give them a friendly game, they will start doing everything. They will start doing everything that was not taught. So again, in the game, it is very difficult to control a player where he is already in the game and you want to control him on everything that she's doing, because those things should have already been highlighted in the main training, so that you can go and review it properly and say, this is the way we are going to play and this is what we are supposed to do as defenders. So all those things must be taken into consideration. But for now, we can say that there was also some issues to do with if you look at it, where there were some issues to do with the systems.
Okay.
Yes. If you look at the game that we played against Morocco, I think it was in the 4-4-2 arrangement. Okay. If you look at the game that was played against Senegal, it was a 3-5-2 arrangement. Okay. Now, if those were the changes that were being made, were the players ready to face different changes on the system? Or was it too early for them to be changing systems on every game? Sorry. Was it too early for them to change the systems on every game? Those are the things that should also be analyzed and should also be given to the players. Because which system are players conversant? First, the Zambian traditional system, even in the league, there are very few players who have been able to play 3-5-2. Most of them, they play 4-3-3 or 4-4-2. So meaning that changing them to a 3-5-2 also could have brought instability to the team. Now, was that training done? Yes, if it was done, but was it tested? Testing while we are at AFCON, changing the system while at AFCON is very difficult because you will not test it on a friendly against another team. When you are changing the system, you train them. Then when you're going to the friendly game, let's say I am the head coach for a certain team, a certain local team here. Okay, a national team. Let's say I'm a head coach of a national team. When I'm training, when we meet maybe 2 weeks before the tournament, when I change the system, I need to call Zanaco and say, Zanaco, we want a friendly against you. Zanaco say, okay, let's do it on Wednesday afternoon. We go there. Then what I've introduced in the training, I need to go and test it against Zanaco. Then see who is doing it and who is not doing it. If I want to adopt that system to the tournament, then I should drop the people that are not doing it because I know that they are not going to manage to play in the main tournament where they need few instructions. Remember, in the tournament, it's a big stage, so you cannot be shouting at all the instructions. You need people that have already known the system, and you need the people that are doing very well, so that you can only remind them, not telling them what to do. You understand?
Yeah.
Yes. So these are the things that I think we must go back to and listen and see if we are going to be the best of the best again. Because at the moment we have lost that last victory where we were number 3.
All right. So, well, it's not bad.
No, we have lost it. Football is as good as yesterday.
But listen to this, coach. We saw yesterday the reigning champions coming out number 4. But anyway, that is a by the way. We're still dealing with department by department. So let's get to the midfield and the wingers. These we pair them together.
Okay. The midfield and the wingers, what do we learn from there? We don't have a lot of crosses. We don't have a lot of crosses. And again, we don't have a lot of offside traps. We are not clever. And most of the goals that we score, they come from the midfield, from the back.
Yeah.
It comes as a through ball. When it comes as a through ball, then we finish it.
Yeah.
But with the crosses, we don't have a lot of them. We need to work on them. Okay?
Yeah.
Duels, duel is where you have what we call a header. From the cross, you head it into the winning through headers. We don't do that a lot as Zambia. All we do is the ball on the ground. So if we have been targeted on the ground, if we have been matched by the right people, we cannot change the system. It will always be, the balls will still continue coming like that, because we know that our people can't jump properly. I don't know why Barbara and the Kundananji, they can't try that one also. Maybe we need to bring such players again, so that when we try on the ground, when we fail, then we bring in strikers that are going to now start using the aerial balls very well. They are headers. They are going to use it very well. Maybe we need to do that but all those are the things that we lacked in the game.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, the only 2 chances from our 2 best players, from our world-class players, are those that we did, and the rest of the games we couldn't replicate what we did in the first 2 games.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, lastly, our attack line.
Yeah, our attack line depends. We cannot have a good attack line if we don't have good distribution of the ball. So I hope the tactics that she has been talking about are now going to be finalized. Because remember, everybody has been saying that no, she was trying all the old players so that nobody should come to say, me, I was removed before being given a chance under Nora. I was just given a chance under our great coach, Mwape. Now he's our great coach.
All right. So done with the team. Let's head now straight to the technical bench. How do we rate them, the performance overall?
Yeah, my performance has always been negative for Nora. Why? From the time that she took over Malawi, uh, if you look at Malawi game, she brought players that couldn't even replace anybody. I don't know why she went to pick such players. She brought players that couldn't replace anybody in the national team. That's why you find that all those players that they played against Malawi, they are nowhere seen near the national team. Look, when I'm going to bring a player that is going to replace Musole, she has to be very good. That when I replace Musole, people shouldn't think it's hatred of Musole. People should know that the coach knows what she's doing. When I replace, when I remove Barbara Banda, when I substitute Barbara Banda, people must be able to know that yes, the coach knows what she's doing. She knows where to get the replacement in case these guys had an injury tomorrow. But up to now, if Barbara Banda or Kundananji were injured maybe for a year or so, we will still struggle a lot, because you can see that we couldn't have their replacement. We don't have their replacement for us for now. And one of the greatest or the difficult duties of the coach is to make sure that you have people on standby who are better than the current players that are playing.
Well, so we've always talked about, let's give Nora time. Let's have her acclimatize with her own team or her own belief in players. Now that Zambia is out of WAFCON, what should be the next task for Nora before we see another game, either it be a friendly, it be a regional tournament, it be whatever that will be involved into? What is now her current big job if we are to see her succeed?
Her current big job, if we are to see her succeed, is to be truthful to herself and make hard decisions now. She has to replace certain players in the national team that suits her tactics. So if she knows that there are players that are senior players, but they are not conforming to her tactics, she has to tell the nation that I'm getting rid of them. Whether the nation will cry 20 times a day or whether the nation will call for her head, she has to remove them and prove her head that my head is good when she wins without those players.
Okay.
That is what she's supposed to do. Secondly, if she can't do that, that means to me, she's a club coach. A club, you are given a lot of time, a lot of games. But at national team, you are given less time. So you have to be very quick to make decisions, and your decisions must be accurate the way they have been for our Shukuru.
Now, how does she recruit with her tactic? And I know every coach comes in with their own recruitment way and process. As much as we would love them, I would love to, bring in Haverina as the best expatriate coach that we ever had, because his philosophy was a little bit different, where he engaged more with the local club coaches than saying, well, since you are playing abroad, then you stand a very high chance of playing in my team. How should the recruitment of the players for the national team be for Nora, especially those that she thinks will suit in her play, in her play style? Because remember, when she was coming, she said Zambia is talented. Too many talented footballers in this national team. All that they lack is tactic, meaning that even the current crop that is there, she believes in them. In fact, they are the first people she believed in too, before looking at the ground, the ground roots football. She saw these Barbaras and say, I can work with them. They are brilliant. They have brilliant minds. They are full of individual brilliance. But then, if I can instill tactics in them, they can be way too lethal than they are now.
Every coach will speak good of especially influential players, because we know in psychology that there will still be some influential players that can make the coach's job difficult. But as you live with the players, as you train with the players, you will be able to notice that the brilliance that I saw from outside is not the brilliance that is there inside the player. So you'll be able to compare what you assumed and what you have gained from the player. As far as I'm concerned, Zambia needs a fair coach. Zambia, the way she said, Zambia has talent, but she needs fairness. And that fairness must not be pointed to a certain direction. That fairness must be so wide in such a way that whoever it covers who is the right player must come to the national team and must apologize to those players that are going to lose their places at the national team, no matter their agency. Their powerful agency, wherever you go, that command respect. Some agents can even command respect from the president of the association. You know that if I touch his player or her player, it means that even my job is at stake, especially when I lose the game without that player. That means you know that that agent is going to talk bad to the president about you. Say, I just fired this person because he's the one who has done that. I've seen that in clubs. I saw that at Zambia Sportland, where there were some agents who wanted to bring their players in pre-season. When I refused them, they kept on talking. No, us, we wanted those players to be part of Zambia Sportland in the next season. So you have to find your way through. But me, I told them that no, me, as long as they cannot replace the current players that are in the team, I can't hire that player. No, you have to find a way of trying to train them your own way. I said I cannot train them my own way because they have to in football, you have to make yourself great and the people have to find you, not you forcing yourself on the coach and you think that after you have forced yourself on the coach, then the coach should make the best out of you. No, me, I believe kuipanga, player fudaipanga, then the coach should like him. So Nora should go. So far so good. She's still keeping the job. She should now call for the right trials. Even if, let's say, she likes the player, but the association, one of the senior executive or senior technical committee members in the executive, they don't like that player. Nora should stand her ground and die with that player and play that player. And that player will give her the results. Because when you are the head coach, you have the mandate to call the player and let the player show her weaknesses and her strength. And if that player is going to do the right thing, then keep that player to yourself. If you win and lose the job, the other national teams that will call you. But if you keep the player and you still not perform well, you still lose the job and you still lose the reputation. So which one would Nora want to be recognized with next time?
Very controversial, but I would love your honest opinion. I've heard this in some sections of the compounds community, social media community, to say in Zambia or the Zambia women's team, we've idolized our two international players so much that we've neglected every other player in the national team. Probably hence the reason why sometimes performance is very bad. We've idolized Barbara and Kunda. Is it true?
That is true. It's not a matter of Barbara Banda only doesn't play when she herself is committed. If you have seen, where she's not committed, when she's available, she plays. But it should come to a point where even when she's available, but she didn't do well, she shouldn't play. That is the time that you are going to know that now it's a level playing field. If I tell you I'm sick, that's when you don't play me. But when I tell you that I'm okay, then you play me always. That means you know that this guy, if he's around, nobody takes his place. Even that guy, it becomes boastful. Understand? Says nshakate so ngashate epokate but nganatea ngaikondi tetute much. You understand that kind of language? That kind of language is all over the players. But it should come to a point where a certain player one day should play, whether she's there or not, not considering her value. Understand?
Yeah.
But most of the time, coaches are psychologists. They read the situation. And you know, sometimes jobs are difficult nowadays, even for the headquarters of national teams. So you don't want to mess around with your job because of one player.
Okay.
There are some coaches that would manage that player, and as no, we'll be losing together. We'll be losing together, and as long as the salary or the income is sticking. You understand? That is, I do not know if she's that kind of a coach, but to me, I wish she can be very fair to herself now and face the reality and say, I'm now going to make sure that everybody conforms to my regulations and everybody plays to my tune. If you don't play to my tune, it's either I leave you with your Zambia, or I win with Zambia without you. That is where she has reached right now, because whether the association through the president, they produced a press statement to say that the president is still supporting the Copper Queens and the head coach, and see, football you can lose and win. No, in reality, it depends to lose. And especially that the president is new, he wants things to start moving in the right direction of winning.
0955-221515. That is the number you are calling us on. The phone line is officially open. The phone has been buzzing, Coach. But anyway, we still pick calls when they call, because I do know and understand sometimes when people call and you don't pick their calls, they tend to protest and not call when you open the phone lines. We still have quite a lot to discuss.
Yes.
So we'll pick when the phone rings. So our dear listener, the phone line is now open. You can call in and put through your input on what we are discussing. This is Football Time on 5FM Radio. Also live on our partner radio station, that is Muchinga Radio in Muchinga Province, as well as ZFM in Central Province. Let's get to move on, or let's get to divert from the women's national team. Obviously, we wish Nora the best and her team, especially her and her technical team, as they embark on this journey of either doing a complete overhaul of the national team and bringing young minds that they will think will work better with their philosophy as well as tactics, or she keeps the current one and still try and panel beat them to the direction that she wants. We wish her all the very best. Two clubs in Zambia have, at the close of last season, qualified, one for the CAF Confederations Cup and the other one for CAF Champions League Cup. Let's get to, I don't know if you've kept tabs on their preparation for this tournament, as well as for the ZPL 2025-26 season. But let's try and channel in or zero in on their preparedness. We have Zesco as well as Power Dynamos.
Yes. Zesco, they are there and they are doing their preparations. We have seen some transfers, but not very impressive transfers on Zesco. We need to be very sure, because they're champions. They're in Confederations Cup. So we expected some names that should have come in, not names from academies of certain individuals, so that they can benefit financially from Zesco. Look, when we are playing football, we need to be very sure that what we are bringing in is going to help Zesco at the highest end. Not going. Yes, let Zesco be ripped off of its money when the player is good, but not ripping off their money when the player is bad, and we know that those players 2-3 games later on, they will never play in the team after causing a lot of errors. We need Zesco to go there and get the right people, because they are winning of Confederations Cup. To me, I don't believe Zesco should go there to participate.
Exactly.
Coach Tenant Chirumba must go there and win the Confederations Cup. It must show from the beginning. But are their signings really giving us hope? There is no hope for that. So, and this issue, thank God that they also sent their head coach. I think it's an award or a reward. their previous head coach in the last season,
who
was on interim basis.
Yeah.
They have sent him to Tanzania to do a CAF A license, which is very good. And the tenant Chirumba is already a CAF A holder. But we just need good signings that give hope, signings that have got experience of Confederations Cup, or signings that have got experience with some of the big leagues.
Okay.
You understand? These are the things that we need from Zesco. And we don't want them to play around. They are representing Zambia. They are no longer a Zesco representing themselves in the Premier League. When you're at Confederations Cup, when you're at Champions League, we will talk about you and we will really tear you apart. Like we will analyze you, we'll bring out what we'll follow you on Facebook. We'll hear what players you are bringing in, and we'll check where the players are coming from.
Yeah.
A player shouldn't play in an academy, then you send him to a Division 1 team, and later on a National League team, then later on you bring him to Zesco and you feel like he's going to play in the CAF Confederations Cup. Look at the preparations of big teams like Orlando Pirates. Understand? They go and beat Granada 2-0. Yes, they're in the Champions League. They're going to face Power Dynamos at some point. Look, they are serious. They go to Europe. They go and camp in Europe. Kaiser Chiefs, they go to Holland, they go and camp in Holland. And you are bringing players from the player who was at an academy a year ago, and you want him to play in the Confederations Cup. This is not fair for Zambian football. We want Zambian football. When I go to South Africa tomorrow, when they say this is a coach from Zambia, every South African club must feel like, let's try him. Maybe he's very good, like the guy who won the Confederations Cup, or like the guy who won the Champions League. Oswald and Coach TC, I hope that they're going to do the right thing, and we are going to have the best from them. On Power Dynamos, they played against Chipa. Yes, Chipa is not okay. Maybe on Zambian teams, they played Chipa so that they can test how the South African Premier League is, how strong it is. It's very strong. I think we understood, because in the first half, it was 0-0. In the second half, we lost. We lost because Power Dynamos is our team.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we can't say Power Dynamos lost. We lost because Power Dynamos is Zambia now, the Champions League. So we lost 1-0. And what number did Chipa United finish in the league? You can see all those things are things that we should look at. So we hope that the next, we don't know when they are playing the next friendly, because they haven't announced on the Facebook page. And meaning that, to me, that means it was poorly prepared pre-season. Maybe they just thought, let's go to South Africa. Because if you are well prepared, they should have done it earlier and arranged all the teams and announced all the pre-season dates and the games that they'll be having every 2 days or every 3 days. The way we saw Kaiser Chiefs announcing, we saw Orlando Pirates announcing that even SofaScore, which is one of the biggest database of football, were even indicated that, Kaiser Chiefs is going to play this. Kaiser Chiefs is going to play Utrecht. Kaiser Chiefs is going to play all those other big teams. So we don't know when is the next game, and their media has been quiet. So media from Power Dynamos, we expect you to be updating us on what is happening, because the Power Dynamos is our baby. It's Zambian baby, and we want to take responsibility. Their loss is our loss. If they won against Chipa United, we are going to have a lot of hope that, then even if we face the Orlando Pirates, we are going to make sure that we are on the right track with Orlando Pirates. But for now, we don't know where we are, because losing 1-0, especially in the second half, means that we grew tired and we made a mistake. So exactly, that's it about the teams that we are going to face, that are going to represent Zambia at the highest level.
Now, speaking of endurance, because this seems to be a very big issue, not only for our national team, but also it's evident in our clubs. Like Power lost in the second half. It was a matter of endurance. What component adds to improve endurance in a player or of these players? Why do I ask so? It's because we've seen since time immemorial, even up to now, I still don't understand why Zambian clubs, be it Division 3, Division 2, all the way up to the Super League teams, pre-season, they go for sand. They go for hot temperatures or hot weather. You've just mentioned here Orlando and Kaiser, Holland. Our friends are going to Europe.
Yes, one time.
Our friends are going for the super turf, nice turf, and compete with these big teams. If we would rather go Kusinazegze, we go to Sinazeze, we go to Senanga, we go to Luapula, we go to Mongo, and go and play Division 2, Division 3 club there. In fact, if we even play them, it's a plus. Otherwise, we just go there for let's run in the whatever. What components adds to the endurance of the players? Why do we do our preseason locally and in areas that even I myself don't understand?
Yeah, this is what I think it was here where we advocated that the physical trainers of these clubs must be professionals.
Mm-hmm.
If they can be a former footballer who has a diploma in physical education or physical fitness training, that would be better. But just having the former footballer, you send him for a 2 weeks training for physical fitness at there's a Prince Charles Hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Then you bring him back, you think he's going to do a good job. When Kaiser Chiefs has got someone who has got a master's in physical education,
Mm-hmm.
it's really a joke of the time.
Mm.
We need to put our house in order. We need to reorganize ourselves. Even at under 17, we saw that era where Kalawa is the physical trainer for under 17.
Mm.
We ask ourselves, yes, he's
an accomplished former football player.
He's an accomplished former football player, but what does he understand about science and football? The science behind physical fitness, the science behind endurance. You see, when you're training someone for endurance or strength, there's a place where there's strength. There's also a place where there's endurance and strength. There's also a place where you can overdo it, which is called overtraining.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if these are not professionals in terms of physical fitness for the players, it means that they're either overdoing it and they don't know whether they're overdoing it or they're not doing it at all.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because there is a way you can train a player and tell them that this exercise you have to do it for 30 seconds. This exercise you have to do it for 15 seconds. This exercise you have to do it for 1 minute. This exercise you have to do it for 3 minutes, because 3 minutes represent every 15 minutes in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are only going to 3 minutes, it means you can only play you for the first half time. If you can do this exercise for 6 minutes, then we are going to tell you that you can do it for the whole 90 minutes and maybe even extra time, because that means you have gone beyond.
Mm-hmm.
And all that education is in physical fitness. Is in physical fitness, either strength training or whatever you get. At the diploma level, it's the minimum that I think a national league and a Premier League team should get. But what do people say? I remember we suggested it, and some people started calling me and telling me that, no, do you know the budget of the running a national league team? And you want us to be adding a diploma holder again in the physical fitness department, and how much would that person require? And you are even saying that someone should have a diploma, meaning that now we are now going to be signing huge contracts with that person. I told them that no, this is the right way to do it. It's either you do it or you don't, or you compromise. But the compromise will affect the league, because remember that any physical trainer who is not training the players right from national league, especially going up, they are also affecting the competition in that league.
Mm-hmm.
And if all physical trainers are well trained, it means that they are going to enhance the league, and our league is going to be marketable. The results, when everybody is right and they have had the right person in the right position, it's going to be seen by how many people will be viewing our league. and how much the broadcasting rights will be valued. Because as long as the people are not watching our league as consistently as other leagues, it means that our broadcasting rights are going to be compromised when the Football Association of Zambia goes to negotiate with these broadcasters.
Well, lastly, as we are going, let's obviously get to look at the fact that starting next week, Zambia is set to participate in the CHAN competition. In the CHAN competition, which will be held across 3 countries, Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda. And we've seen Grant obviously calling a number of local players and stuff like that. So Zambia is in Group A, and they will be up against, let's see. So yeah, there's Congo DR.
Again,
in the men's.
it was there in the women's,
Yeah.
then on the men's.
Then we have Angola as well as Kenya.
Yes.
How do you think will perform? Can the boys redeem the girls? Because all the time it's been the girls redeeming the boys. This time around, the girls haven't really done the most, but still came out from the quarterfinal, setting a bar very high for the boys. Can the boys replicate quarterfinal, or can they redeem the girls by winning the CHAN competition?
Me, I've seen that in that list that the players have been called. Some of the players were called to the national team previously,
Yeah,
and they never impressed. So I'm wondering how they are going to do it now.
Well, consistency matters. So if you are
Yes.
called 2-3 times, perhaps you sharpen your boots, you sharpen your scoring skills.
But it was not only once or twice that they were called. They have been called many times, I think. Most of these players that were called in this CHAN tournament, meaning that the consistency failed. So it is like you call someone on a debate and you know that they don't know what to speak, but you still call them again for another one.
They're always available.
So the question that must be there is that I feel the Premier Avram Grant, me personally, I feel he doesn't watch much of the games locally. So I do not know how he's going to succeed in choosing the right players, whether for the main team or for the CHAN team. Because if I would plead with him to be sitting around, even if the game looks useless, let him go there. Maybe to him, maybe the game might not matter. Let him go there and watch the games, especially that this league, this season is. We should see him on Sunday, maybe at Nkwazi, at Nkoloma, watching Nkwazi versus Power Dynamos. We should see him maybe on Monday, on Saturday, is he at Lake Mwanawasa, and quickly he comes to Lusaka to rest so that on Sunday he can watch another game. We should see him on Wednesday watching, maybe he's at Green Eagles in Joma. He should be traveling. There should be that provision where because sometimes he's an odd man, I understand, where there's a provision for where he can get an air ticket, where Faz can get an air ticket, let's say in Ndola and Lusaka, let him be given that privilege to be, because at his age, we expect him to be mentally strong, and maybe the body might be not be willing. So let's support him in all those ways so that he can be. Maybe sometimes he feels tired to say, if I watch the game in Ndola on Saturday, that means I have to come back and watch another one. I have to travel another 6 hours on the car, no matter how comfortable the car, but the journey is too long. Then again, he rests, and again, he find himself again at another match in Osaka. Maybe that should be another issue. Or maybe he can do it this way. Maybe when he goes to camp in the Copper Belt that weekend, he should watch all the games in the Copper Belt for Saturday and Sunday, and come back on Sunday afternoon after finishing watching the games, or come back on Monday after finishing all the games, maybe for Ghana, for Power Dynamos, for Forest Rangers in National League, and all these other teams, and come back on then when this weekend maybe is in Osaka, he finishes watching all the games in Osaka, so that he should have enough time to watch the right players who should be playing. And again, he should also be given access to the training, because what I've also observed in our league is that there are some players who train very well, but they have never been given the chance to play.
Yeah.
So he should also be alert on that one, because from there, maybe he might pick right players again that he can also be able to export, because I can see that after he came in, we have had some players also having the chance to play in Israel. So Israel is also a good European nation where we feel that the league is competitive. So by our players being exported to Israel, using his influence, it is also a good thing for us as a nation.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for coming through today.
Thank you very much, and we really appreciate, and thank you very much to every viewer and to every listener who tuned in on this program.
Our dear listener, this is where we come to the end of the program. Thank you so much for being with us from the time that which we started. Another thank you goes to you, our partner radio station, that is Muchinga Radio in Muchinga Province, as well as also ZFM in Kapirimpoishi Central Province. Thank you for picking this program live. Let's get to meet again next Saturday from 10:30 as we bring to you another exciting edition of Football Time. I've been your host, Lance Sannie Banda.
That was Football Time on 5FM Radio. Join us again next week at the same time.
Why do I bet with Bet Power? It's not just about the 1,000% win bonus or winning big for me. It's knowing I can bet as little as one way. Knowing they'll never push me to bet more than I want to or can